All right, shalom, fam. Shalom, 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 peace. Welcome to another episode of DST. And it's your brother, Ahmath. First name. IQ was all the same. Prayerfully, everybody's doing well. Having some technical issues on my end. So we're just going to have to grin and bear it, deal with it. You know what I'm saying? But the work will continue. Hopefully, everybody's doing well on Shabbat. Let me salute the families in the house. We got Shalak in the house. Shalom, Mike. The House of Bayan, shalom to you. Hashemai, shalom. Raniyah, shalom. Uziel and Malachi, shalom to you. You brothers, Ashar. Who else we got? Naquab, Rosemarie, Koaf, Sakar, Sister Catherine. All praises. Anybody that I missed or anybody's going to be creeping on in as time progresses, shalom to you. You might be watching it after the fact, depending on your time zone. Some of y'all Sabbath is already over, but it's all good. Let's get right to it. All right. Let me take this off here. Let me get this banner off. We already started. All right. All right. If I'm coming in clear, throw a 7 in the chat for me. Somebody help me out because interestingly enough, I didn't even get notified that I was live. Like YouTube was playing games. I didn't get the notification. I mean, I got the notification that I would be starting at 3, but when I started the live, I did not get it on my phone. 7 just locking in. Okay, cool. All right, all praises. All praises. So you see the title. The divided states, not the United States, the divided states of America proves this place is done. That's why we prophetically, man, give all praise, honor, glory to the Most High, why Yahweh Shai, because we're seeing the writing on the wall. Although we see the MAGA hats and everybody else that's jumped the bandwagon from the Democrat plantation over to the to the Republican plantation, speaking about these Israelites who's running around here, well, the ones who don't know who they are, let's say blacks and Hispanics, they're thinking America's going to be great again. Everything's, going to be back to normal. You're going to get immediately thousands of dollars in your bank account. Jobs is going to be flowing your way. All them old dirty, stinking immigrants, they're going to be getting kicked out, right? They're buying into all of this. But you saw last week, war was already declared within the House. You seen Letitia James? She talking about we're monitoring them. We studied their patterns. We know what's going on. There's a coalition of Democrats in high government offices that's prepared to take on, the Trump and his regime. So the divide is already there. But I ran across a particular video yesterday. Was it yesterday or it could have been? Might have been this morning. And that we're gonna highlight that in a minute. Because I'm fair, and the truth is the truth. And there's a video where now they're trying to slander RFK Jr. because the Trump is starting to fill up his swamp people. They call the White House and the government offices the swamp. So he's getting his swamp people up in there, and he's supposed to be draining the swamp, but he's throwing in his own swamp creatures, and there's big uproars about who he's selecting. Some of the people I don't even know their particular backgrounds or records. But what we do see is RFK Jr. He got appointed over in Health and Human Services, and we're going to look at a video that is just wild. How people are up in arms because he got this particular position. So let's start with a couple of scriptures and then we'll get to it. What is going on here? Hold on, y'all. Shalak Why is it black screen? Dang, man, Satan don't stop, boy. Hopefully everybody can still hear me. I'm having trouble sharing my screen. Give me 1 second, though. I'm trying to figure this thing out. Definitely. Okay, there we go. Man, spirits galore, boy. Spirits galore. Let's go to the classic words of the Savior, Hamashiach Yahushua, in Mark, the 3rd chapter. Mark 3:24 and 25. And this is where we hold our hats towards prophecy and the words of the Messiah. Because if he said it, it's guaranteed, right? Mark 3:24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. See, there goes Satan again, man. The quad, big go your ice cream truck, right on time. As soon as I start, he decides he wants to pop up. Ain't this? Let me read that again. Mark 3:24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. Well, what do they call the White House? The House of Representatives, right? We're seeing massive divisions within there. As much as they're saying that the the new swamp is getting assembled, there's already a an alignment of opposition already set up, ready to go against them, right? I know you weren't gonna say nothing. You don't have to. I already know. But nonetheless, we see here that the opposition has already been set up, right? And we see that the Spirit of Christ is already prevailing over the earth. Matthew 10 and let's start at verse 34. Actually, we'll start at 33. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. So this is letting you know that we're getting ready to get to the point and embarking on a path to where full confession of our belief in Hamashiach Yahushua, the Most High, the Bible, is going to be put to test. The chump, his regime, he's talking about he wants freedom of speech. He's going to get all the free, everybody's after the censorship and all this other stuff, right? But you can't trust our enemy. He's getting ready to line up a particular system. And if not him, who comes after him? Because they might just sit and wait out 4 years, make it hard as hell for him to, to get his policies and get his things off over the 4 years. Because everything, he can't clean up everything in 4 years at all. So they might just give him hell for 4 years. And but now that I'm thinking about it, the Republicans got pretty much the majority of the House. So all of the shot callers come from that side of town. They're all wearing red rags out their right pocket. Uh, they're the ones who's pretty much calling out the shots from the Supreme Court, the Senate, and everything else. So it's going to be interesting because he damn near has got free reign to let everything ride. But we're going to get put in a position to where we're going to have to confess Hamashiach Yahushua and our belief. We deny, you can forget about it. Verse 34, think not that I'm going to send peace on earth. I'm not come to send peace, but a sword. So the Spirit of Christ is already out there. The sword is a weapon that divides, that cuts. It also is a weapon of war. So we see the spirit of war that's already going on out there. We see that there's a divide in the house. So everything that was prophesied, we're seeing it play out right now. All right. Let's continue on. Let's open up this PowerPoint. Let's get to it. Now, there was a lot of word, after Agent Orange got up in there, all that, Putin got on the phone immediately and wanted to negotiate and talk and all this other stuff, right? Now, I did see a video where he said he wanted to congratulate Trump on winning. He admired him after, he got shot and all this other stuff. But at the same time, he said he would be open to having a conversation. But at the same time, there was rumors going out there saying that they already had a talk. And he was ready to, come to the table with negotiations to, stop the war. But clearly we see that's not the case. Putin denies he has spoken to Trump, branding it pure fiction amid reports President-elect warned him not to escalate the war in Ukraine. So, Agent Orange was going out there talking crazy, like, I'm going to get the war ended before I even take office. Remember he was saying that when he was debating Kamala Harris? He was like, yeah, I got a plan. I will have it ended very quickly, very quickly. It'll be over. I'll be on the phone before I even take office. And clearly we see that he's lying. So Putin said, I ain't talked to him. And furthermore on that, he's turned up the war even more to show that he ain't talked to him and he's not going to be intimidated by the chump. So Russia's President Vladimir Putin has denied reports that Donald Trump had spoken to him in recent days, adding that he had no concrete plans yet to speak to Trump. So, the MAGA hats is out there talking about, see, he coming in, everybody's bowing down. There was some people who was bowing down. We seen Eric Adams, old coon ass. He said, hey, you know what? Cut off them debit cards for the migrants. We got to get in order. I'm facing charges. I might need a pardon from him. Let me make sure that I'm on the right hand side of justice. You know what I'm saying? But here we see there's no plans for him to talk to Agent Orange right now. And see here, he doubled down. This is how you know, even after he got elected, Putin was like, just in case he thinks he's calling shots over here, which we've seen prophetically with Ezekiel 38. Agent Orange ain't going to stop that. Moscow hits back. Putin has amassed 50,000 soldiers, including North Korean troops and Kursk, ahead of a counteroffensive in days, says the U.S. Putin has amassed 40,000 of his soldiers and 10,000 North Koreans as he plots to attack Kursk in days, a report claimed. The Kremlin leader is set to try and claw back the area of Russia, which Ukraine seized back in August. So we clearly see he's not backing down. He's going for broke. He's clearly continuing on with the war. Agent Orange is out here selling lies about I'm going to bring peace. I'm going to end all these wars. And this is how you know he's lying, because America has an allegiance, an unbroken bond with the GMO small hats. He can't abandon them. He's going to get their back. So that war will continue. Now, what impact he has on this particular war, we'll see. But as of right now, Putin is going full steam ahead and ain't stopping. Iran military heads vow a crushing response to Israel as the UN atomic chief says nuke sites shouldn't be attacked. This is interesting because the UN is saying that nuke sites shouldn't be attacked, but Israel did reportedly bombed a nuclear manufacturing facility of Iran. So the small hats can always break the rules and everybody looks the other way. They can break international laws. They can commit genocide. They can starve nations. They can bomb indiscriminately. No problem. But you leave it to any other nation, you can forget about it. See, let me read this. Iran military heads vow a crushing response to Israel as UN atomic chief says nuke sites shouldn't be attacked. Tensions between Iran and Israel remain heightened as Tehran's military heads on Thursday once again pledged a crushing response to Jerusalem strikes last month, and the UN's atomic watchdog is scrambling to prevent a nuclear escalation. You know what? Let me see if I can find that. Because I don't know if I had. One second. Yeah, there you go. Israel destroyed Iran active nuclear weapons research facility. 11/15/2024. That was just yesterday. Now, didn't we just get through reading that the UN atomic chief said that shouldn't happen? But look at that. They break the rules, man. It's constantly going down. They let them do whatever they want with no repercussions. And they're constantly running around talking about how they're the victims and everybody hates them and everybody's after them and everybody's jealous of them. Give me a break. Uh, Matter of fact, there's a reason why you see this. Uh, all right, shucks. Let me see where I want to go. Yeah, let's start here in Exodus 17 and 13. It says, "And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And the Most High Yahweh said unto Moses, Write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. For I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven." They're going to be destroyed. The Most High said they're going to be completely wiped out, the remembrance of Amalek, right? They haven't been destroyed yet. They're still obviously walking around. We see them, right? But notice how the Most High said that he said, "Write this for a memorial," meaning a remembrance, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua. So does that mean that he only had to tell Joshua one time? No, a rehearsal means repetitive. You got to keep going over. You got to keep practicing. You got to keep, sowing it in the ears of Joshua. Because Joshua could have been saying, "Are you sure that the Most High said that?" I know we don't, you don't like him, but he's gonna wipe him out. Moses was like, "Hey, wake up, Joshua. It's time to rehearse this memorial again. The Most High is gonna wipe the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven." Next day, wake up. Most High is gonna wipe. And Joshua was like, "Damn, again? Yeah, we're rehearsing this. Because when it's showtime, you're gonna know that the Lord is real." Continuing on, it says, "And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nisi. For he said, Because Yahweh have sworn that Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation." So, Amalek is going to constantly be in war, turmoil. The small hats is going to constantly have to deal with it, right? But they're running around here committing all kind of atrocities, and they're getting away with murder, literally and figuratively, right? Uh, Let me see if I got one more. This is why the Most High got to take them out, because here they are committing all these particular war crimes. Nobody's doing anything about it. Well, who else is going to bring the justice? Who's gonna bring them under wraps? Before we go there, let's get that other precept in Psalms 94. 94:16. "Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?" So the challenge is on. The Most High Yahweh said, "Well, who's going to do it?" Because obviously the nations aren't going to stand up for what's right. The nations aren't going to bring them to justice. So who's going to have to do it? Somebody's going to stand on business, as they say, and put all these nations that's committing atrocities and wickedness and seducing our people into follies and all this other. Our people's worried about their Black Friday sales right now. I thought Negroes was broke. Oh no, they're gonna swipe them credit cards. Jay gonna get out there and get them Black Friday deals. Looking on YouTube for new ham recipes for Thanksgiving. You dig what I'm saying? Like, our people's minds is completely twisted. And that's the real. Right? So it says, "Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?" The challenge has been put out there. So we got to sit back and say, okay, well, you know what? I'll take the challenge. The faithful in the Lord is going to take the challenge. We're going to walk in the integrity of the law, statutes, and commandments. We're going to walk in the integrity of defending our women and our children and our men in these spiritual wars and in the coming physical wars. Ezekiel 35, verse 1. "Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it." Mount Seir, stronghold of Esau, Edom, white folk. You understand? The Lord said his face is going to be set against him. So not only Amalek, which is a duke of Edom, which hold a high position of a royalty. Dukes are almost like princes or vassal kings in particular regions when you're dealing with kingdoms. Now you got his entire seed, Mount Seir, the dwelling places, and say unto it, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay the thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. See, this is where you get into Zechariah, the first chapter, where it says that the children of Israel, the children of Edom, helped forwarded the affliction. You know, the soft-hearted Christian is going to say, well, if it's true what you guys are saying, the curses is because we were disobedient. Why you keep blaming him? He's only doing what he's supposed to. Oh, no. He did what he's supposed to, and he went above and beyond the call of duty. He went above and beyond, driven through perpetual hatred, which goes all the way back to Genesis 27, where he said, the days of my mourning my father had done when Isaac passed, when Esau was telling, making a vow, saying when Isaac passes away, then I'm going to slay my brother Jacob. And he's had that spirit on him ever since. Ever since. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. So when we were in calamity, they kicked us while we was down. You know, lynching, hangings, burnings, you know, the real, how much it cost. You know what I'm talking about. You know that there was the first American, how much it cost, was the Devil's Punch Bowl in Mississippi. I've talked about that before. Many of y'all know about it. If you don't, look it up. The Devil's Punch Bowl. That was the first concentration camp built for Jakes. You know that there was a how much it cost in the I think it was in the early 1700s. Early 1900s. I can't remember the exact date. Now, I don't want to look it up, but I'm gonna have to pull that up in the future. But there was a how much it cost between the Germans and Jakes in West Africa. They had a how much it cost way before World War II. And we've talked about the black how much it costs over there in Germany. So even during the time of our calamities, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, they ain't lift a finger to do anything. Just like when we was leaving out of Egypt, wanted safe passage through, and they denied us. They denied us. They're over there living it up in our land. Sodomite parades, smoking cigarettes, you know, fornicating, doing the whole nine. Isolating the brothers and sisters over there in Dimona, making them enlist in their armies if they want to be citizens. You know, did y'all see? This is a while back, a few years back. There was a video of a sister. She was over there, and it was two old Amalekites, man, and it was an old Edomite, and they was giving her hell, man, assaulting her, and the dude threw up on her. And, you know, pushed her out the way. And I mean, it was wild, man. Just completely desecrating our sister. So it's all bad. Verse 5 one more time. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Most High Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So, you know, Esau don't have no problem with blood, man. He lives by the sword. That's why when you read in Revelation 13, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Let's read it. So I don't want to butcher it. Revelation 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. You know, Esau hasn't hated blood. Yeah, Leopold. He was chopping off arms and all. I mean, hands and arms and all kind of madness. Yeah, that's a fact. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. My son's got a book uh, of all of the weapons that Esau's created. Everything from the primitive knife made from stone, rock, spears, bows, all the way up to nukes. Thick book. When you talk about Esau, when Esau said he's going to live by the sword, it's amazing. You see everything that he came up with, and that's why he doesn't. He's not scared of blood. I mean, you see all these horror movies that he does, all of these slasher flicks. He loves it. So the Most High said, "Okay, you love blood so much, you're gonna get more than you asked for when it's all said and done." You dig? Now it says, "Here is the patience and the faith of the saints." So this is what we're waiting on. This is what we're waiting on. So we got to see all this come to pass. This is why they're constantly in conflict, because the Most High said, "I'm gonna constantly be on them. I'm gonna let the nations get at them. I'm gonna constantly have them in the news." See, tensions between Iran and Israel remained heightened as Tehran's military heads on Thursday once again pledged a crushing response to Jerusalem strikes last month, and the UN's atomic watchdog is scrambling to prevent a nuclear escalation. Director uh, General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Grossi, traveled to Iran this week to hold high-level meetings with Iranian officials in a move to hold Tehran accountable for prior nuclear safeguarding pledges and to get clarity on where Iran's nuclear program stands. So they're paranoid about Iran coming up them nukes, and we've seen in times past articles and things saying that Iran can have the foundations of a nuke built in a week. They just need the rest of the technology uh, from Russia, which they're in league with right now. That's why they're paranoid. That's why they're, turning the other way when the small hats get the bombing. Right? Look at this. Nuclear horror as insane satellite images show Russia arming an ICBM. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What does that mean? Russia is arming an ICBM. Y'all know how that goes. Uh, see, back to Revelation 9 and 19. I'm just going to read this verse. Y'all seen it and heard it before. For their power is in their mouth. The mouth is the nuke warheads, the ICBM heads. When that head opens up, you see the warheads inside. They look like teeth. When they get dropped off, that's where the power is. The power comes from their mouth and in their tails through the jet propulsion. For their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. So they have these particular ICBMs with, I forgot what they call them. It's escaping me right now. It begins with a K. But there's a particular ICBM that actually moves like a snake. And they said it's damn near impossible for radar to pick it up or to shoot them down. It's called the Crat. I can't recall, but it begins with a K. I'd have to let me see. I don't like putting something out and I forget. I'm like, well, the world of technology and information at your hands. Why not? Uh, Damn, what was the name of that one? Not the Sarmat. I forget it. I got to figure it out. Yeah, they got the Satan too. They got them all, but there's one in particular that moves like a snake. I got to remember that one. But anyway, if it comes to me, I'll pop it up later. So They got satellite images of Russia loading up the ICBM. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer is reported to be pushing for outgoing U.S. President Joe Biden to release $15.6 billion in funds for Ukraine before he leaves up. Do you see this foolishness? They trying to shake down slow Biden before he goes. Hey, before you leave, man, give us another $15 billion. Sign off on it, because they know Agent Orange ain't dipping. He ain't passing our money like that to them. Alarming satellite images appear to show Russia's R-30 Bulava intercontinental ballistic missile, a key element of the Russian nuclear arsenal, being deployed on nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines. The pictures shared on the Ukrainian website Defense Express are likely intended to send a signal to the West over the ongoing supply of missiles of Ukraine, especially in the wake of U.S. President Agent Orange's election victory last week. Notably, Russian sources were among the first to bring attention to this image, claiming it shows work by the 12th Chief Directorate of the Ministry of Defense, the division charged with managing Russia's nuclear weapons. So we see here, Russia's got 50,000 troops over there ready to make moves. They're arming up ICBMs. And people are thinking that the chump is getting ready to bring peace on earth, man. He's the Prince of Peace. He's the savior. You see the blasphemy, man? And that's exactly how they're positioning him. They're talking about that Donald Trump is in prophecy. He's the second coming, and these all dirty, stinking Edomite evangelicals out there talking about this foolishness, man. He's the Prince of Peace. He's the savior. Remember back some years ago when he won the election, he was talking about I'm the chosen one. Unbelievable. Let's move on. The Russia-Ukraine war intensifies with drone attacks, foreign troops, and record losses. The war between Russia and Ukraine is escalating. So, there is no evidences that, the chump gets in there, man, and everybody's slowing down. Everybody's, ready to put the brakes, hit the brakes, wait for them to get in and then get to negotiating and talking. No, they turning up. And Ukraine is trying to shake down slow Biden for $15 billion so they can continue on in the war. This is big. Turkey severs all relations with Israel, says the Drojan. So we see that Turkey is already backed away. I believe out of the EU, they were already taking a stance against the direction that the EU was going. Turkey, I believe, got into I think they got into the BRICS, or they want to get into the BRICS. Let me see. Yeah, they're not a full member yet, but they're looking to join the BRICS, right? So we see here that Turkey's completely going rogue because they're part of NATO, but we're seeing that they're turning their back. Let's look at Jeremiah 51. Where am I at? Okay. Jeremiah 51:27 says, "Set ye up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations." So what do we know that the trumpet is being blown for? Obviously a call to action, to assemble, war, to make an announcement. So a trumpet has been blown amongst the nations. So that's why we see all these multiple wars, conflicts, rumors of wars being, set off, right? Prepare the nations against her. Call against her the kingdoms of Ararat. Now, Ararat is Turkey. If you remember, getting back into Genesis 8 with the ark rested on Mount Ararat. And most historians and archaeologists have traced Ararat to be Turkey. Matter of fact, just in case y'all need another little representation of that. you can see right here. I'm not even go. So there you see Mount Ararat, volcanic, massive and oops, like it. Volcanic massive in extreme eastern Turkey, overlooking the point at which the frontiers of Turkey, Iran, and Armenia converge. So this is important because when we get back to reading Jeremiah 51, said ye of the standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her. Against her, who is speaking about Babylon? Babylon's going to be judged uh, and destroyed, right? So not only do we see in Ezekiel 38 about Russia assembling particular nations, Iran in particular, it said Ethiopia, um, Syria, not Syria, it's like I'm drawing a blank on Northern Africa. See, that's why brother's memory is off today. I don't want to butcher it as usual, but I can just pull it up. Libya, there we go. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, right? So we see that going down. Not only that, but we also see an assembling of nations being brought, called to war. No, I want Jeremiah 51. Where's this going on? Okay. Getting back to 27 one more time. Set ye up a standard in the land. Blow the trumpet among the nations. Prepare the nations against her. Her is Babylon. Call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat. So speaking about Turkey, Mini and Ashkenaz. I believe Mini is Armenia. And Ashkenaz, obviously, we know who they are. They're going to be involved in war directly with Turkey and Ashkenaz. They're going to be going at it. And it's all going to be surrounded around Babylon. Appoint a captain against her, cause the horses to come up as the rough caterpillars. So these are like the tanks. These are the weapons of war, the horses. You know, when they're talking about things like horsepower, that's all indicative of the powerful weapons that's going to be laid out. The ground attacks, the ICBM, so forth and so on. So when we see Turkey severing all relations with Israel, that only goes to show you that the prophecies is coming to pass because the trumpet is being blown. Turkey's bailing on the EU. Turkey's joining the BRICS, or has intentions to. They're severing any and all ties with Israel. They're siding with their Muslim brothers. And now we're seeing clear lines being drawn. And Turkey has one of the most powerful armies in the world. So Amalek doesn't really want these particular problems. They're going to need America to help them. They're going to need Babylon to get involved. Because otherwise, it's over for them. Right? Turkey has severed all ties with Israel. Turkey's president, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, announced on Wednesday. Erdogan made the comments to journalists aboard his plane following visits to Saudi Arabia and Azerbaijan. The government of the Republic of Turkey, under the leadership of Tayyip Erdogan, will continue or develop relations with Israel. Our ruling coalition is resolute in its decision to cut ties with Israel, and we will maintain this stance in the future as well. We, as the Republic of Turkey and its government, have currently severed all relations with Israel. All right, all praises. So there you go. They're out the game. They're cutting off the GMO small hats. Let's continue on here. Look, Iran claims the U.S. has fabricated Tehran-backed plot to assassinate Donald Trump and compares allegations to a third-rate comment. So you know, the last assassination attempt, they tried to link it with Iran. The Trump been running around talking about he believes that Iran is behind these assassination attempts on him. So you telling me the little 20-year-old uh, acne face Edomite on in Pennsylvania that shot his ear. He's got ties to Iran, but meanwhile, his phone was pinging with FBI agents and uh, FBI locations next to. Yeah. I mean, CIA. It was all kind of madness going on. I'm pretty sure y'all seen a lot of the things. Things didn't add up, right? So Iran is clearly stepping back and saying this is ridiculous. You saying that we're the ones trying to take out your president? Like, yeah, we do have beef with him because he took out Khomeini or one of the scientists, and I think he was a scientist or he's a general, one of the two. But yeah, they got a problem with that. But they ain't sitting back trying to take him out like that. Why are they gonna wait until he's president elect? They could have been trying to get at him if it was like that. But that isn't the case, you know. So Iran is obviously addressing that lie. We know that there's inside sources and forces that don't want the Trump in there, and they're doing everything they can to try to get rid of him before he takes office. So whether they're going to try to make his inauguration hell, maybe they collapse the economy, who knows? The the stock market, that was hitting major booms when he got elected. Now it didn't already start dropping. The honeymoon is over with that. Crypto's still going crazy for the most part, but it's simmering down too. But Bitcoin is going wild, and I think that's because he endorsed Bitcoin, or he said that he liked Bitcoin or something like that. So of course they jumping on there. Yo, 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Can y'all hear me? My bad, y'all. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. All praise. Uh, that was my bad. I hit the mute button on accident. So what did y'all hear? You heard me talk about the the fake plots, right? So maybe if you didn't hear it, let me double back real quick and give a little rant on this. So Iran is addressing a lie that America is putting out these narratives that Iran is the ones who's continuing with these assassination attempts on Agent Orange. Now we know that they always set up fall guys in the end. There's always, remember last year or whatever it was, a couple years ago, they were saying that there was Russian collusion with the 2020 elections. Russia was affecting the elections. Came out that was a lie. Um, I was saying it's always like, for instance, like Rosewood. If you ain't seen that movie, man, go ahead and log off. Go on and get off this live, man. and go watch it. All right. If you have not seen Rosewood, log off the live. We'll miss you, but you can always double back. Log off this live and go watch it. All right. You should not be depriving yourself of a movie like that, or Till, or any of these particular movies. Because you seen the white woman on there. She gets raped by Edomite. She runs outside talking about it was a nigga. They burned down the whole town. Lynch and Jakes and the whole night. I'm gonna stop there for anybody who hasn't seen it. But there's always a fall guy in place. White man always doing some damn crimes, and he's gonna blame a Jake. How many Jakes have been locked up under false pretenses and false charges? You see it all the time. Man doing 30 years gets a settlement of $5 million. Man spent 25 years of his life in jail under false DNA. Finally gets him free, and he gets $500,000 as compensation. They're always blaming the Jake, man. There's always some little false narrative that they line up, and they already got the plan to blame somebody, right? So that's what's going on with Iran. Moving on. Strong earthquakes shaking southeast Cuba on the heels of a hurricane inside blackout. Notice after they was trying to get with the BRICS, after they was trying to, get on their feet, they didn't got hit with hurricanes, famine, island-wide blackouts. I mean, Cuba's catching hell. And then they get hit with the quake. And I have no other choice but to think about it like, damn, this is the most strategic place that has ties to China, has ties to Russia, that could propose a major threat to the U.S. if they get on their feet and they allow them nations to come set up shop in there. America's going to have major problems. And then you think about geoengineering and HARP and everything else, like they getting walloped, as they say, mollywopped from blackouts, starvation. Now they getting hit with the hurricanes. Then they double back and get hit with a damn earthquake. Either the judgment of the Lord is hitting them Cubans up. I mean, it's all the Most High, let's be clear. But I'm scratching my head like they getting hit back to back to back, right off the heels of them saying that they was trying to. I think they got like a guest spot in the BRICS. Hold on. Yeah, see that? Cuba's bid to join the BRICS. So them trying to get down with Brazil, India, China, South Africa, and get with the new monetary system that they're trying to set up, clearly poses a threat to the U.S. So could they be getting hit? I don't know, but they definitely catching hell for sure. Let's move on. Amsterdam police warn of fresh calls for unrest a day after rioters torch a tram. So over there in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, they had some riots jumping off. I believe it was over a soccer game. There was attacking the small hats. They're saying there's a JEW hunt of them in Amsterdam right now. Of course, they're crying victim. But as we see, according to 2 Ezra 9, about uproars of the people, this fits right into play. A senior police officer warned Tuesday of calls for more rioting in Amsterdam after dozens of people armed with sticks and firecrackers set a tram on fire Monday night as the city faces tensions following violence last week targeting fans of an Israeli soccer club. The Free Palestine movement has hit sports now, and the small hats is catching hell over there. So they're saying expect some more unrest. Meanwhile, Israel and the U.S. Hello? So is the U.S. involved in this war? Israel and the U.S. ramp up airstrikes on Syria as counter-Iran war expands. So America is actively involved in this war. Let's not get it twisted. So whether World War III is on by proxy or it's snail pace creeping up to higher escalations, which is what we really see, is going down. So Israel and the U.S. is committing airstrikes on Syria. Let's move on. Israel lashes out at a very low number of arrests made after they remember that's what I'm just saying. The who, the algorithms, you got to bear with me. I hate that I got to even do all this. The JEW hunt attack on Maccabi Tel Aviv fans in Amsterdam. As Paris deploys 4,000 cops for France Israel clash. Right? Israel's mad because they wasn't arresting enough people. They always want some damn justice for them, but they'll never want justice for nobody else. Anyway, so we see the rise from the soccer game, jumping off. They was getting dragged and having to deal with some harassment. All right. And they're trying to label it a hunt on them. They'll knock it off. We was getting hunted. Dogs, alligator bait, running through swamps, getting hunted by hooded Edomites with torches, lynching and hanging, tar and feathering, castrating. That's a hunt. I don't want to hear about they getting hunted. Come on, man. Let's move on. Now look at this. New concerns after RFK Jr. is nominated to run the Department of Health and Human Services. Listen to this.
Y'all ready for this? Santa Claus is bringing the play back.
Medical experts are weighing in on another controversial Trump cabinet pick. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a vaccine skeptic suspicious of mainstream medicine, was chosen to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. And a number of groups on both sides of the political spectrum are raising concerns. Here's
Rosemary, thank you for bringing that out. They always starting some stuff and then they want to cower down and say, help, help. Unbelievable. That's right, Carlos. Frank White.
ABC's Jay O'Brien.
This morning,
skeptics.
Here we go. Now, mind you, I'm gonna let this play.
Suspicious of mainstream medicine, was chosen to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. And a number of groups on both sides of the political spectrum are raising concerns. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
This morning, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. promising massive changes and potentially significant turnover at federal public health agencies if he takes the helm of the Department of Health and Human Services.
On August 23rd of this year, God sent me Donald J. Trump.
The environmental lawyer, also known to spread deep.
All right, now I got a problem with what he just said. He's talking about August 23rd, the Most High sent him Donald J. Trump. Again, he's buying into the propaganda of trying to call the chump the savior, right? They're trying to throw this holy biblical narrative of Agent Orange in here. I got a problem with that, right? What the hell does he know about God at all, right? But again, unfair. And once we see what he's standing for, we're going to find out.
Telling Fox News this in 2023.
I do believe that autism does come from vaccines.
The idea sparked by a decades-old study that was retracted years ago. Multiple independent studies since have found no link between vaccines and autism. Kennedy pledging he doesn't want to take vaccines away, and despite his skepticism, has previously claimed he and his 7 children were fully vaccinated. He's pushed misinformation on vaccines and saying that they're linked to autism. That's not a concern for you?
We'll have oversight. I think it just pushes the envelope, and that's what we need.
The one-time long-shot third-party presidential candidate dropping out this summer, endorsing Trump and entering his inner circle.
He's so into health.
Now we just heard, he just said he's not anti-vax. Matter of fact, his whole family got poked up. But he's got problems with some of them. And there are studies that came out. When you deal with certain aspects of debate, you hear the term confirmation bias. So people are going to utilize research studies, sources that back their narrative but neglect to hear all of the facts. So they're talking about, isn't it a concern that he's spreading misinformation?
Vaccines and saying that they're linked to autism, that's not a concern for you?
We'll have oversight. I think it just pushes the envelope, and that's what we need.
The one-time long-shot third-party presidential candidate dropping out this summer, endorsing Trump and entering his inner circle.
He's so into health and all. He's going to take care of women's health and men's health and your children's health.
Now, Kennedy's top priorities include tackling processed foods, including a proposed ban on additives like food dyes, changing the FDA's nutrition guidelines.
Now, I have no problem with that because it's long been understood that America does not live by the same standards of health that they do in Europe. Many of the ingredients, many of the products that they sell in America, they don't sell in Europe for health guidelines. The FDA passes a number of different things. FDA is approving clone meat. FDA is approving all kind of madness. Lab grown, this, that, and the third. GMOs, all of these artificial ingredients, preservatives, like you said, the dyes, the red 40s, everything else. And they're known to be unhealthy because if you look at the records of other countries, they don't deal with that stuff. Now he's saying, let's get on that page. They're saying that that's dangerous, you know, and they don't want to hear about it.
Pushing to end the practice of adding small amounts of fluoride to prevent tooth decay to Americans' drinking water. Kennedy claims fluoride, recommended for U.S. drinking water since 1962, is linked to low IQ and bone density issues. But the studies he references are preliminary and only looked at high levels of fluoride exposure, not the low levels currently recommended. Jay O'Brien, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Now, we just got to seeing, I think I did DSM some months ago, and they were talking about banning fluoride in the water. This is before the Trump got elected. This is before any of this went down. I mean, look at this. This is from July of 2023. Nearly half of the tap water in the U.S. is contaminated with forever chemicals, government study finds. Why not examine everything? The fluoride, I remember looking at a study from Harvard probably 12 years ago about fluoride harming the IQs of children. Like they said, bone density, all that other stuff, right? It's just like mercury and aluminums. You start hearing about all them trying to take it out the deodorants and everything else. This is why your dentist is saying, oh, you got them old fillings. We need to take those out. Remember the metal fillings with the mercury? And all of a sudden they're saying, we need to get you the porcelain ones. We need to get them out of there. Because they always go back after the fact. So he's saying, I want to examine and get rid of all of this stuff. I'm putting the FDA to the test. There's already a number of people in the FDA saying they're going to quit when he comes in because they won't be able to commit their evils if he gets up in there and he starts regulating. And now this is who he's going to be replacing. Does anybody have a problem with that? This is who he's replacing. Now the news and them are saying he's spreading disinformation. This is the same cats that's out there saying you can't define what a woman is anymore. Two men can have a baby. This is the narrative that they're pushing out there. Now you're hearing all of the studies and all of the side effects and all of the deaths and everything else that's happening after the protocols was laid out with the C-19. Remember that? Now you're seeing multiple articles all over the place. Videos, sometimes y'all send them to me. I can't play them because you know what they're going to do to the channel. But do you want this? Do you want this creature still riding? As long as he's up out of there, I'm okay. But the things that Kennedy at least is proposing, I don't have no problem with it at all. I mean, you got to get this creature up out of here. That's who he's replacing. And they mad. Unbelievable. So bring it on. That's more the dividing of the house. So they're talking about him with people getting poked in the arms. He said, I'm not anti getting poked. I just don't like the fact that there's studies for certain jabs that got to get tested. Now, I'm anti all of them. I don't give a damn. Now, of course, he's going to, fork tongue speak and say, oh, I got shot. I got poked, but there are some bad ones out there that we need to look at. Okay. Go ahead. But I'm not messing with them. Moving on.
Medical experts.
Now, this is him, the chump, getting in there to purge the swamp, as they say. Trump draft executive order would create a board to purge generals. So now he's getting ready to get rid of any general that don't want to follow orders, that ain't gonna bow and kiss the ring. Here we go. The Trump transition team is considering a draft executive order that establishes a quote warrior board of retired senior military personnel with the power to review 3- and 4-star officers and recommend removals of any deemed unfit for leadership. So, when you hear about certain elements of him wanting to be a dictator, or, if they don't want to listen, they don't want to follow rules, he's not going to deal with the backstabbing and the false reporting and bad advice that he got in his first term. He's like, nah. I'm going in, I'm taking out everybody that messed with me last time. If the Chump approves the order, it could fast track the removal of generals and admirals found to be, quote, lacking in requisite leadership qualities, according to a draft of the order reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. But it could also create a chilling effect on top military officers, giving the president-elect's past vow to fire, quote, woke generals, referring to officers seen as promoting diversity in the ranks at the expense of military readiness. So, I'm assuming that remember I showed y'all the pictures and all of that with the troops wearing red high heels and all of the cross-gender stuff they was doing, and the Transformers is enlisting in and getting out. He's trying to get rid of all of that, let alone he said day one, man, it's only going to be 2 genders, male, female. I mean, the truth is the truth. I gotta agree with that. Regardless of who said it, but if he got the power to say, let's stop the madness. We're getting out this twilight zone of not being able to identify who we are. We're not going to keep having men going in women's bathrooms, raping women and doing all kind of madness. We're not going to have females boxing and wrestling grown men and getting, slaughtered. That's not going down. So, some things I ain't got a problem with. Let's move on. Look at this. FEMA urged to conduct mass firings over Revelation staff told to ignore hurricane-ravaged homes with Trump signs. So there was a memo and an email, I believe, that came out. And it's a sister, too. She was the head of FEMA. And she got fired because there was particular protocols regarding FEMA that said to avoid, when the hurricane hit in North Carolina, they said to avoid any homes that had pro-Trump paraphernalia, what do you call them things they stick in the lawn? Pro-Trump signs, all of that. So now they're talking about purging FEMA too. So this is the divide that America needs. We need them to continue on battling and fighting each other, man. And we can go ahead on and celebrate as Israel, because it's only showing that Babylon can't get it together. The Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses, all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. That's America. The old lady from I Fallen and I Can't Get Up. Yeah, that's the mother of harlots. That's America. There's no helping and saving this place. Okay, so FEMA's got issues going on. They got busted. Right, moving on. The divide again with his election. Shocked. Husband speechless as wife files for divorce after he voted for Trump. Now you see, last week I had to get on my sisters, love them to death, but many are caught under this spell that needs to get broken, right? But they're following after their oppressors. And as we see here, a woman divorced her husband because he voted for Trump. This is the mental illness that's going on in these people, man. American man was asked, "How do I fix this?" after saying his wife wants to divorce him and throw away our entire life after he voted for the chump. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Yeah, that's right. Trump definitely got issues with the EU, Carlos. He had issues with the WHO. So there's going to be a lot of divide jumping off, and it's beautiful because the more that they at each other's throats, the more that we got time to be in our spiritual Goshen, getting it together, repenting, waking our people up, and committing ourselves to be prepared for our exodus up out of here. Look at this. U.S. man kills family members and takes his own life after Trump's victory. Look at these maniacs, man. This dude killed his whole family and killed himself after the Trump won. So divorces is up. They got the 4B movement, man. Women is going on strike, shaving their heads. They ain't having no kids. They ain't having no sex. They ain't going on dates. They ain't doing nothing. That's what they're saying. How are we going to keep track of that? Or is this just some TikTok trend? Now, we know the Korean women did it over there. I believe it's in South Korea. That's where they got it from. But now you see American women trying to pick up on the trend. And if you see some of these hags that's talking about they ain't laying with nobody, you got to ask, when was the last time, you had somebody anyway? You dig what I'm saying? Like, who's trying to mess with some bald head woman? Like I said, sisters ain't doing that. So good luck. Now you see here, dude kills his family members, takes his own life after the Trump victory. These people are losing their minds. It's unreal. Unreal. I mean, they're acting like the dude didn't already have a 4-year reign on America. Life is over now. Okay. United States man Anthony Nephew shot himself, his wife, ex-partner, and 2 children after the November 5th election that brought the President-elect Donald Trump into office. 46-year-old man out of Minnesota expressed anger over Trump's election. This is wild. So this is the extent that they're going. I mean, these are the people that were standing behind Kamala and no balls walls. I mean, you want these type of maniacs roaming the streets, feeling like, they're in their heaven on earth? I mean, good Lord. That's what they're doing. Now, check this out. Cyrus Carmack Belton, 14-year-old, got killed in a convenience store, man, got accused of stealing water in South Carolina. This is why we just heard about it. And this is Moab. Another damn Moabite did this. And I'm going to share a history with y'all in a second. A convenience store owner in South Carolina has been charged with murder in the fatal shooting of a 14-year-old black boy whom he falsely accused of shoplifting. On Sunday night, 58-year-old Rick Chow. So it's fair to say he's a Moabite. Chow, owner of Columbia's Express Mart Shell Station, chased and shot Cyrus Carmack Belton in the back. According to local news station WLTX, Chow accused Carmack Belton of stealing Excuse me. 4 water bottles. 4 water bottles. Chased the 14-year-old kid down and shot him in the back. During the press conference on Monday, Sheriff Leon Lott revealed the teenager had not shoplifted anything from the store. He later described the shooting as, quote, unjustified and senseless. As he commented on Sunday's tragic event, Lott told the media and members of the community, you don't do what happened last night. Tell us something we don't know, Sheriff Lott. The interaction between Chow and Carmack Belton began around 8 p.m. The teen and the store owner argued after Chow accused the 14-year-old of stealing water he touched. Although Carmack Belton touched the bottle, surveillance footage showed he placed them back in the cooler. Trigger happy gook running around, shot a 14. I mean, come on. 14 years old. You trying to tell me you can't subdue a 14-year-old? I mean, 4 water bottles. Okay, if he did steal them, let him go. How much is the water bottles? At most $2, $8. See, this is why the curses say, curse shall thou be when I go come in, and curse shall thou be when y'all go us out. You know. And this was upsetting to me because I'm like, here we go again. For y'all that don't remember this one back in the 90s, I think it was early 90s, Latasha Arlen's here in LA. And I remember it because I was around the same, I don't know, I might have been around the same age as her. But there's a sister named Latasha Harlins, and that was also what helped fuel the 92 riots. Because everybody remembered Latasha Harlins. This sister got killed over a bottle of orange juice in a liquor store in South Central. This is how we know nothing new under the sun. See, according to Ecclesiastes, same players in the game. Oh, shucks. What happened here? I don't know why this thing don't want to work. Okay. Ecclesiastes 1:9. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. So we're constantly seeing these things. Yeah, that's right, Uzio. Tupac definitely spoke on them. Right? Spoke on her, I should say. Slocky. But this was a big thing down here, man. You know, you had Al Sharpton. This is Fat Al. You know, him and Jesse was out here marching for Latasha Harlins. You know, Jakes is getting ready to tear the place up. They want a peace. Tell everybody calm down. Let the justice system work out, right? So look at this. She was 14. The other brother, Cyrus, was 14. She's 15. For the second time in 3 months, the people who knew Latasha Harlins best and who miss her the most gathered in front of a mural at Algin Southern Recreation Center. 30 years ago, the 15-year-old black girl from South Central walked into Empire Liquor Market and Deli, grabbed a $1.79 bottle of orange juice, and put it in her backpack. A Korean-born merchant, Soon Jao Do, Korean-born, Soon Jao-do, accused her of stealing it. Latasha had $2 in her hand. So she put the orange juice in her bag. She was going to give him the $2 to pay for it. And this is on video, too, because they had the surveillance video in the store. That's what really set Jakes off. Do grabbed Latasha's sweater. Then Latasha punched Dude in the face and headed for the door. Dude picked up a handgun and fired a shot in the back of Latasha's head. Another shot in the back. Right? Yeah, so like that's right. The juice was on the counter. Absolutely. Juice was on the counter. She was getting ready to put the money on the table. And matter of fact, I don't know if if they had the surveillance. Yeah, see, they got the video footage. I'm not gonna play it for fair use, but at the same time, uh, but there's plenty of videos on here. I think this is movies that they redid, but that's the sister right there. Yeah, but anyway, um, shot on the back of the head. Right now, look, this was the justice. Yeah, that's a good precept, Carlos. That's right. Ezekiel 25:11, right on the nose. What happened to the Korean woman that shot Latasha Harlan? What happened to her? Okay. While the jury convicted Due of manslaughter, which normally carries a maximum of 16 years in prison, the judge, Joyce Carlin, commuted her sentence to 5 years of probation, 10 years of suspended prison, 400 hours of community service, and a payment of a $500 fine, and to pay for Harlan's funeral costs. See, I just ain't tripping. Look at Isaiah 59:4. None calleth for justice, nor any pleaded for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. See, that's what ended up happening. You know, our people run out there, no justice, no peace. But they didn't do it in righteousness. Sister's family still mourning 30 years later. They hold fast to Zechariah 11, verse 5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So the nations take advantage of us. They see that they can go ahead on and exploit us, kill us, do the whole nine, and they're going to hold themselves not guilty because they're saying, well, that's their Lord dealing with them. We can kill them, we can rape them, we can do whatever we want. We can have a commuted sentence. It's just like when Mike Vick got 3 years for dog fighting and killing a dog. And the Edomite officer that killed Oscar Grant up in the BART station up in Oakland, he got 18 months. So Oscar Grant's life was less valuable than the dogs that Michael Vick was fighting in terms of justice. And this Moabite goop, man, she got off. She's supposed to get 16 years for manslaughter. And that ain't even enough because she shot her in the back of the head. That's murder. That ain't no manslaughter. Commuted her sentence to 5 years of probation, 10 years of suspended prison, 400 years of community service, and $500 fine. $500. And so we got to see what happens with Cyrus and justice that happens with him, because I mean this is it right back over again. Right back over again. All right. Number of different outages again. Verizon Fios internet outages impact millions on the East Coast. There was people that use the Verizon Edomite internet. They say in Washington, Luz, Miami, LaGrange, Baltimore, Silver Spring, Raleigh, Cherry Hill, Maple Shade, Sewell, Philadelphia, San Antonio, Alexandria, Fairfax, Falls Church, Virginia, other cities. Major outages for Verizon. I think they said it was down for a few hours. They finally got it back up. They're sitting up here still tampering with the idea of maybe a comprehensive cyber attack as Klaus Schwab will call it. We're constantly seeing these outages happening more often than not. Here's another one. T-Mobile goes down earlier this week across the U.S. as users report service outage. This is consistent, at least since the summer, and before that, there was definite cyber attacks going on. But remember, back in the summer, they had the Microsoft outage, flights being canceled, internet down, all kind of madness. So they're still doing it. Let's move on. Now look at this. America's STD explosion laid bare, and the shocking number of people catching one every minute. Now, this is what, under Kamala, this is what they exploded even worse. As we see the reports last week about women stockpiling up on morning after pills or abortion pills and hormone therapies. And, you know, Kamala with her track record of, you know, her multiple lovers in the press. I mean, at least we know of Willie Brown, Montel Williams. We know Doug Emhoff. And whoever else you got on the list. And she's saying, we want to have women have rights over their own bodies. Look what that leads to. Let me get that in the law. I think it's in Leviticus. Leviticus 19:29. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore. But leave it to America, the mother of harlots, Babylon, and the whole nine, right? They promote that promiscuity, fornication, adultery. Use these niggas to get this bag. I'm about my money, you know. They're out here doing all kind of exchanges for, you know, they're openly saying, look, what can you do for me if you want to lay with me? I mean, it's psychological prostitution at this point. Yeah, they may not be walking up and down Fig and all of that, but every woman in their mind now is saying, what can I get out of this deal if I lay with this dude? And some of them, they're going to play the game up until the point to where they can't. Or, you know, they'll hold out as long as they can. Manipulate the guy, get as much as you can. You're getting the shoes, your car note paid, your rent, your phone, getting help. You're getting new outfits. He's flying you out on trips. And he's finally like, look, I done paid thousands and thousands of dollars on you, man. Let me, when we going to, you know, get busy? Okay, fine. You go lay with him because, you know, he's going to cut you off if you ain't doing it. But you're juggling about 2-3 other dudes. So if you really don't want to lay with him, you cut him off. And you still deal with the other 2 or 3. Who are you talking about? Kamala? She was burning. That's wild. I mean, even you see on what's her name? My son was telling me about these YouTube got these 20 verse 1 dating shows on YouTube now. One dude, you know, interviewing and combing through 20 women to figure out which one he wants. Pop the balloons, you know, all these other goofy dating shows that they got on YouTube. Everything is just getting out to damn near prostitution, right? No, OnlyFans. Oh yeah, OnlyFans too. Yeah, that's crazy. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom. So guess what? If you had a woman like Kamala in there, she's carried herself quite possibly. I want to, you know, say something like, let's just say, if you leave it to Judge Joe Brown will say she came to work with knee pads. Right. Damn. Oh, I thought you were saying Kamala that was burning. Oh, they had it was some female had herpes and they didn't tell them. Well, there you go. So the Lord said, don't prostitute thy daughter. This is what happens when you got, single parent homes, mama ruling the house, young mothers dropping them off for granny because mama still got to get it cracking out there in the streets, right? Or you got the hard working mama who's trying her best to keep the house in order, but she's working 2 jobs. There's no oversight on the kids. Dad's locked up, or dad, wasn't interested in starting no family with her from the jump. Bad decision making on both parts. And kids are raising themselves. Streets raising them. The internet's raising them. And we see whoredom all throughout the land. And the land become full of wickedness. Well, this is how we know that America is full of wickedness, because look, America's STD exploding. And many of these bugs are drug resistant. Like you can't get rid of them. It says every minute somebody's catching STI. Everybody's cheating. Chris Brown said these H's ain't loyal. And clearly that's true because I think it was at New Moon a couple of months back. And I think Iran was showing pictures that Chris Brown has women paying for meet and greets, thousands of dollars. Many of them are married and in relationships. They taking provocative pictures with Chris Brown. One woman made a joke at her wedding, saying her vows, and she was like, I guess this means I'm never going to marry Chris Brown, so I'm going to have to deal with you. Like, wild disrespect. And old simp Jake had to sit there and kind of, come on, honey. 5 Americans caught a sexually transmitted infection every minute last year as cases remained at a near record high. And Kamala says, man, women, get out there and do what you want to do. You got needs too. You want to get busy, just get you that morning after pill. It's all good. Record high STDs, man. This is why the Most High gave us the laws of marriage. This is why courting is important. This is why discernment is important. This is why you have to take your time when choosing a mate. This is why you have to actually deal with the scriptures. You can't be running out there just on some, oh, she's fine. Oh, he's fine. He got big muscles, or yeah, she got a big old butt. And that's exactly how you're going to get yourself caught up. Not, oh, how much does he fear the Lord? Is he a family man? Does he have strong convictions in his belief in the Most High? Is he prepared to lead and guide me? If I have children with him, I want to be able to make sure he can protect. He's going to teach. He's going to make sure that, we're okay. He may say, okay, for her, same qualifications. What else is she going to bring to the table? Can I trust her to raise my children while I'm out, working, or whatever the case may be? What else does she bring to the table? These things are all things that you have to, consider. You counsel the whole nine when you're dealing with marriage. You can't just run out there and just do what you want to do. Lay with somebody, commit the consummation. Now you're in a lifelong bond. And then you say, I don't like this one. Oh, you know what? She ain't what she said she was. She said she feared the Most High. I come home and she got horns and fangs out, chewing me a new a-hole because, I forgot the milk. All kind of foolishness. Trust me, I've had years and years of doing marriage counsels and the whole nine, and you hear all different types of scenarios. But this right here is ridiculous. This is why this is why the Most High said, come out of her, my people. Revelation 18. Because you're going to be destroyed with the plagues. It's all fun and games while, everybody on the internet is enthralled with OnlyFans and sexual pleasures and everything else. And no. Revelation 18:2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, the great, is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. See, it's all here. Dropping down to verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Well, how do we avoid getting caught up in these particular numbers? Walking these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? That's the only way to have solid and righteous marriages. You know, yeah, you know what? This is definitely Tuskegee 2.0, medical apartheid. I guarantee you. I know the numbers now say, man, blacks is the leaders of HIV infections. Um, I guarantee if we look at by racial demographics, blacks and Hispanics is probably high up there with these STIs and STDs explosions. It's dangerous out there, y'all. Dangerous out there, man. You got to really be careful. Anybody that's single out there, be careful out there, man. Take your time, get counsel, go through it right, because you don't want to make the wrong mistake. Moving on. Move over. Crowded roads in U.S. City about to get worse as another fleet of self-driving cars is rolled out for testing, as if there's not enough traffic as it is. Amazon is getting ready to roll out robo taxis in San Francisco. No. One is in San Francisco. Let me see. It might be both in San Francisco. Drivers will soon have to make room on already crowded roads for cars without anyone at the wheel because there's no wheel. Another driverless taxi company is beginning to roll out its fleet on the streets of San Francisco. Yeah, they're both in San Francisco. And there was another report a while back. They were talking about people were getting upset because the driverless cars were honking the horns all day. So they're getting ready to get rid of, people doing Uber, Lyft, regular taxis with driverless cars. That's the new revolution, that they want to do, right? Amazon moving in on the market, right? So the replacement of human labor is underway. There's going to be more people broke because remember, that's a little side hustle for a lot of people. Doing Uber Eats and Uber Lyft. I mean, what is it? Lyft and what else? I think they're the only two I know of. Could be some other ones, but that side hustle, they getting ready to close that out. So go figure. Spirit, they filing for bankruptcy. Bidenomics at its finest, right? Spirit filing for bankruptcy, sparking fears of mass route cancellations across America. Spirit Airlines is preparing to file bankruptcy protection. It emerged last night, sparking fears among flyers about mass cancellations. So they're not going out of business, but they're doing asset protection, rearranging their finances, but it's going to definitely ruin their business reputation when they filing for bankruptcy. So that shows you that they were almost out. And the only way that they could save it is to file for bankruptcy. And Spirit already is a janky airlines. But, they gambled on cheaper tickets. But when they upsell you on the seats and bags and everything else, people start saying, I can pay the same price for a regular ticket somewhere. Maybe a little cheaper, still going with you, sitting in a little old seat. But is it worth it? So Spirit's having some problems, right? Look at it. CNN, Cool Nigga News, Clinton News Network will axe top stars and layoffs that'll see hundreds fired as ratings continue to tank. So it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem because CNN was heavy on the Demo Crip support. They're not going to be able to utilize and weaponize their networks to get at Agent Orange. And you notice they say they're top stars, not their top reporters. Like that's to let you know that it's an entertainment network now. They've got personalities as opposed to real reporters. Back in the day, you used to have reporters. Now you have commentators, and talking heads and quote stars. So CNN's getting ready to hit the layoffs. Good riddance, you know. And you know what? Some of them is running to the internet now. Now they're saying, "Oh, podcast is the way to go," because they know what nobody listening to them talking heads no more, man. The Mockingbird media is burnt out. Nobody's listening to them no more. So now they figure we can go take our propaganda somewhere else. Good riddance. All right. Moving on. Now this is bad. This is bad. Some of y'all may have heard this when I seen it. I was like, oh no, not my boy. Not my boy. Denzel Washington's gay kiss was cut from Gladiator 2. I guess they weren't ready for that. That's Denzel saying it. I think it's him and I think Samuel Jackson that I can think of by memory. If y'all know anybody else, throw it in the comments. But amongst Jakes that didn't have to compromise their masculinity or commit a homosexual act on camera, those are the only two that I can think of that didn't have to do that. And that's why I always stood by them two Jakes. I like Denzel as an actor. He might be my favorite actor. Samuel L. is right behind him. And yeah, Khan Naquab, that's what I'm going to say. Denzel said that he was going to be retiring soon. He's going to do like 1 or 2 more movies. He's going to get out the game. Which leads me to believe that he went in with an understanding that he was going to have to do it eventually. And once he did it, he's going to get out the game and disappear into obscurity. And the fact that they made him do it and didn't even put it out there is even worse. Because now it's like you did it behind closed doors. And then he's saying, I guess they weren't ready for that. Who's not? Americans love these sodomite relationships. America loves the LGBTQ. Who's not ready for it? You know, people be clamoring to see that. No. They made him do that. And he thinking, okay, I'm finally out there. I finally made my commitment. I'm out the game. I did what I had to do. Then they make him do it, and then they don't even put it in the movie. They're going to say, oh, well, we didn't publish it. You got 3 more on deck. We'll do it on one of the next ones. That's going to go out. And he's going to say, wait, whoa. You said one time. Yeah, but also it's got to be seen. Everybody got to see it. So, that one just didn't fit right with the theme, blah, blah, blah. Your next movie, Denzel, we're probably going to need you to bend up. We're going to need you to do something. They got him up, boy. Hey, but the scriptures say, man, surely oppression making a wise man mad and a gift destroyeth the heart. Denzel's been gifted with a stellar movie career. And he's managed to stay out the limelight. Managed to keep his nose clean for the most part. But here we go. Eventually, everybody breaks, man. Everything's for sale. Denzel was talking about this particular movie. He said this was the biggest movie he's ever been on, biggest budget, blah, blah, blah. There's so much controversy about him and his role that he's playing in there. Saying that, he's supposed to be an Edomite. How dare they change history and put a Jake in there? I mean, acting as if Jake wasn't ruling Rome and Jake didn't have places in the Roman Empire. I mean, these are the wicked ass Edomites that are upset that a Jake is playing a prominent figure in Roman history. That's a whole nother story. Y'all seen many of the Dark Age images in class I've done, and probably seen some other ones in particular. You may have some showing black rulership, royalty in Europe, Russia, so forth and so on, right? So they got Denzel, man. I kissed the man on the lips, but he got cut. Denzel should not be sharing that. If he got cut, man, I ain't saying nothing. But he's proud of it. Shame on Denzel. All right. Before we close out, I got a few I want to run through. Massive attacks on the food and water supplies. A number of recalls happening this week alone. Listen up, check your cabinets, check your refrigerators, whatever. Drinking water recall, full list of the brands with ongoing alerts. Fiji, for those who love Fiji water, if you have some, they have a recall, 150,000 bottles. Waikia Hawaiian volcanic water, real alkalized water, all of those have recalls, right? Several drinking water recalls are ongoing as the U.S. Food and Drug Administration set the risk level for a brand that recently tested positive for coliforms, a bacteria unlikely to cause illness, but that can indicate other pathogens. So they're saying that the coliforms is a bacteria. It might not cause illness, but it might bring some other pathogens to the table. So it itself might be quote unquote harmless, but can we trust them? But it could bring along some other pathogens. The FDA issued a class 3 risk classification of Berkeley Club Beverages, Inc. recall of 150,000 bottles of water last Friday. The recall was issued in September. A class 3 is awarded when a situation in which use of or exposure to a volatile product is not likely to cause adverse health consequence. So although, it's nothing wrong, it's going to be fine. Just like they're talking about with the fluoride. Why the recall? Why just let it go out there? Nothing's going to happen, right? But clearly, if you're saying we got to stop anything that was produced in September, how many bottles did we produce? How many's out there? 150,000. We need them all back. Get the people that refund. Do what you got to do. We don't want none of this on our hands. As much as they talking about, it's not going to do anything. You'll be fine. No. When he's speaking fair, believe him not. Y'all know the time it is. Recall cheeseburgers given highest risk level by the FDA. These are pre-made cheeseburgers for whoever eats them. I don't know about this particular brand, Dakota Tom sandwiches, but another listeria outbreak. So we know that the listeria outbreak hit with the boar's head lunch meat. I think they said 10 people died so far. Listeria outbreaks is going on all over the place. So these particular brand names, Dakota Toms, they burger patties have got listeria in them. The pepper jack cheeseburger, the bacon cheeseburger, and the gambler, all have been recalled by the FDA. That's as of yesterday. Thursday. Taco recall in 31 states as the FDA sets risk level over listeria fears. So more. These are chicken tacos. More listeria. There's an outbreak of this listeria going on in the meat supply. And they're worried about JFK coming in and clean up the act. Right now, it's looking like the FDA has got a bad reputation for things that's getting put out there. Chicken tacos recalled in October have been issued a risk classification by the U.S. FDA over potential listeria contamination. The company said the product contained chicken supplied by Bruceback, a producer of pre-cooked meat, which announced a class 1 recall due to listeria contamination. It says the recall affects 24,072 units distributed in Kroger stores in Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Georgia, Indiana, Illinois, Indiana. They said Indiana twice. Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Michigan, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana. The list goes on. Damn near every state. 31 states. And listeria leads to death, stomach issues, diarrhea, vomiting, nausea, all that other stuff. So Kroger with their Home Chef Chicken Street Tacos, they're getting recalled. Salad recall for 8 states over allergic reaction warning. I mean, the list goes on and on, man. If there's not an attack on the food supply, you remember last year, I mean, over the last few years, all of the manufacturing plants catching fire, you know, dead cows lined up all across on the streets. Bill Gates talking about drink poop water. Don't worry, we got the bugs. Don't worry, we got the impossible meats. We got everything for you. As they change the dietary habit, that's why we have a dietary law. And even when that gets compromised, we got to look at it. You know. So a brand of chicken salad has been recalled from stores across 8 states due to possible undeclared egg allergies. It says the FDA announced on Friday that the Asian sesame salad with chicken and Asian dressing product sold by Wegmans Food Markets is being voluntarily recalled by the retailer. Wegman Food Market stores can be found in New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Virginia, Maryland, Massachusetts, North Carolina, Delaware, and Washington, D.C. So there you have it. Look at this. And this is indicative of prophecy, too. The country's offering citizenship by, quote, ancestry to Americans who want to leave after the election. Thinking of leaving the U.S. after the 2024 presidential election or obtaining another citizenship, you may be in luck as countries offer dual citizenship to people who can prove they have relevant ancestry through their parents or grandparents. But while numerous countries such as England, France, Australia, Canada, and Mexico require at least one of the applicant's parents to be a citizen, others are more flexible. So you see all of the countries here who are open to saying, come on home, as long as you can prove your father or your parents or your grandparents are natives or have ancestry there, you can come on home. Ireland, Germany, Poland, India, Italy, Ghana, Spain, Hungary, and Portugal. All saying, come on back, right? Well, Isaiah 13 says something similar. Isaiah 13, 13, and 14. Therefore will I shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of Yahweh of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger. And it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee everyone into his own land. So we're seeing here prophecy when war is declared on Babylon and the destruction of Babylon comes to play, people are going to be looking to cleave to their own and get up out of there and go back to their ancestral lands. That's prophecy. And as we see here, that lines up right along with it because they're telling everybody, hey, come on back. Doors open. You don't like the government? You don't like the way that things are moving? Guess what? Come on back. Right? So there you have it. There you have it. Wild times we in, y'all. Wild times we in. And that's a fact. That is a fact for sure. Right? So, another DSTM in the books, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Why Yahweh Shai, man. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the information today. Be sure to wipe your feet. If you didn't when you came in, wipe your feet on your way out. Share the video. Subscribe if you haven't. And we'll continue doing what we need to do to please the Lord, inform our people, and be messengers of the covenant. All right? So with that, I'm going to close out. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Why Yahweh Shai. Always remember, fear the Most High. Keep the commandments. Don't shoot the messenger. Shalom.